gosh, what an honour. I am deeply honoured and very grateful to have been invited by the amazing Isabela to participate in this show and to start the first leg of the journey around the world. And I just need to set my 8-minute timer, and I'm using all of my minutes now to do that. But we stand here on the edge of a new decade. There are a group of amazing women that you're going to meet during the day, and I can't imagine what there isn't to not love about this. So I want to introduce myself. I'm Diane Gilpin. My work is all about how we address the twin challenges of the climate and nature emergency that face us as a global community. Specifically, I focus on shipping and the contribution that shipping makes to that emergency and the opportunities that arise for the industry by adopting ambitious strategies that tackle those two interconnected crises. I had a bit of an unconventional education. I left school at 17 after having a really big row with my dad. And after several dead-end jobs, I did manage to get myself back into college when I was 21 on my own account. I loved learning, but my lack of early education meant I couldn't do what my heart desired, which was to do a master's degree. But fate knew better, and I was very fortunate to get a job on the first cellular telephone system company in the UK, and it set me up for my whole life. It was all about innovation, it was all about inspiration. Back then, few people could imagine how mobile phones, like mine, could change the world, but my colleagues could. And look at this now, this has got more computing power in it than the early moonshots, and that's how people with imagination and inspiration can start to change the world. And from that start, I went on to work in Formula One, I worked in yacht racing and in renewable energy. And all of those jobs focused on pushing boundaries, on imagining the future, on facing down opposition. And so combining that expertise from yacht racing and from renewable energy, I set up a business about 4 or 5 years ago, pioneering 21st century wind technology for shipping. We work, as Isabela has just said, across the industry, including cargo owners, ship owners, and we have collectively designed a fully automated, fully recyclable, retractable, robust wing sail system that can be fitted on a retrofit onto existing industrial sized ships. And those systems are proven to reduce emissions and fuel costs by 25%. But our fast rigs are powered by satellite enabled systems so that they're fully automatic and they're intelligently routing themselves. And that's just the first step on the journey. Our ultimate aim, as Isabela has mentioned, is 100% renewable powered, technically and commercially superior system solutions for ships that are both renewably built and renewably powered. So it's materials and energy. So what we're talking about here is real zero emissions. But the adoption of this technology and many other brilliant solutions is thwarted by many, many barriers. But we now know what an emergency response looks like. What COVID has shown us is that a global emergency doesn't know about borders. It doesn't know about how it transmits across geographical regions. And we know that well-funded and diverse teams can solve problems really quickly. Who knew that a vaccine could be delivered quite so quickly as we're now seeing? And we urgently need that same sort of well-funded, urgent response to the climate and nature emergency that we face. Generally speaking, investment isn't made too much into the real economy. I mean, in shipping, finance is more to do with trading assets, with buying and selling ships, with future trading on fossil fuel prices and those sorts of things. What we don't do is ask cargo owners, what do you want? And when we ask them that, they said, we want to buy green shipping. But that's not yet available because the shipping industry is not yet set up to fund the shift. The banks can't finance unproven technology. They can't subjugate their senior debt. There's a lot of obstacles. And on top of that, the whole kind of cult of the entrepreneur, where we dangle the carrot of huge personal wealth, it's created a warped investment paradigm where the making of huge money for a small amount of people is more important than preserving the place that all of us call home. And in shipping, we tell ourselves stories. We tell ourselves that shipping is only responsible for 2.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Well, that's more than Canada, that's more than Germany, and it's twice as much as the UK. So if shipping doesn't pull its weight, everyone else has to work harder. And we also tell ourselves that we're the most efficient form of transport, and we are. But it doesn't mean to say that we don't have to do anything. We know that consumers are now much more enthusiastic about paying better prices for better quality and sustainable goods. More and more people appreciate that there is no business, there is no consuming on a dead planet. And that green shipping powered by wind can actually be cheaper. So it's a win-win-win is how I like to think of it. At this auspicious time, on this day, we can feel the winds of change. The old systems are based on outdated thinking. And we've been working with Donut Economics, which is written by the great Kate Raworth, and I urge you to read this book. It describes how we can create a thriving future for all of us within planetary boundaries. And that, I think, is also complemented by this other really helpful little book. It's called Transformative Innovation, and it's slim, but it's a how-to guide. It says, how do we do this transformation that we want to achieve? And one of the key aspects of that book is that we need more women. We need more women on the team. We need more women of colour. We need more indigenous wisdom. And we need more unconventional thought. There is hope. I was recently voted, as Isabela said, onto the Planet Power list. And obviously that was a really, really great honour. But what was most fantastic for me about it was meeting all of the other women. So much talent, so much passion, so much knowledge. And what was common about it was that we had all spent more time working on our projects than we had promoting ourselves. And so that's the importance of storytelling. And that's why it's so important to me to be here with you tonight. As I approach the new decade, I'm inspired by my work in yacht racing. When we entered a race, we would know where we had to go. We have to go around the world against the prevailing winds and currents. But we had to find ways of doing that. We built the best and safest boats we could. We assembled and trained both physically and mentally a diverse crew. We set our goals and intentions for the challenge ahead. It's emotionally, it's physically, and it's financially grueling. We knew we could be as best prepared as possible, but eventually we had to set off. We didn't know what the journey was going to hold for us. We didn't know what the challenges were going to be. But we did know that we were courageous and imaginative and ambitious. And we knew that we'd cover each other, we could trust each other, and we could support each other to make good decisions. We know we are the ones that have been brought together right now to tell our stories that contribute to the transformation of our collective futures. In this spirit, and on this night, I hand you back to Isabela to guide you to the next leg of this exciting journey. Hold.